So in this video, we're going to take a little look at the program MetaTrader. We're going to be looking at it from a desktop point of view rather than on mobile phones, just to try and make sure that we're doing things in the most professional manner that we can. And then what we'll do is we'll take a little review of that. We'll look at some of the key tools that you'd want to be able to use, plus a few added extras to try and help make your trading as easy as possible. So let's get to it. So first of all, when we look at MetaTrader, you can first of all see the chart that is visible on the main screen. We have some tools available up at the top, and then on the left hand side we have some market symbols that are available to us, and then on the bottom of the left hand side we have our various different accounts we might be logged into, any indicators you might be using, and any expert advisors you might be using, which we'll mention separately in just a little bit. So the first thing to see would be, well, to get some new charts on here. So for example, I've got the gold chart open at the moment. If I wanted to get a new version of the GBP JPY chart open, I can find the symbol on the left hand side. If I can't find it, I can just start typing in the code for that, and I'll be able to get that ticker available and click on it from there. So I've got GBP JPY here. Let's right click on there, and then we will go and show a new chart of that. So we want a new chart window. Now you'll notice when you first open that, it looks crazy compared to some of the cleaner charts you might have seen. For example, my gold chart that I've got here, that is relatively clean, straightforward. There's nothing cluttering the place up, because that's the kind of trading that we want to do. We don't want to be overcomplicating things. We don't want it to be over the top and looking complex for the Instagram images. We want something that's going to be clean, fresh, and very easy to follow along with. So to do that, you can right click and you can go to properties, and you can change any of the properties that you wish for the various different colors, for the different candles, and so on. So for me, I take the grid off the background, I have it all set to black, and then I set the bearish candles to be red, I set the bullish candles to be a sort of turquoisey bluey green color, and that's the way I like to use it. The reason being is the person I learned from, one of my mentors, who was Raja Banks, he had his set up in the same way. I basically mimicked him to try and mimic the way he trades, and that's worked for me. You can do it however you wish. So I took everything off, and what I actually ended up with was just a nice, clean, crisp looking chart like so. And that means that now, just like in TradingView, when we've looked at the TradingView tools, we can draw areas of support and resistance on there with little rectangles, and we can move those around and place them where you want and so on. Or like I like to use, you can use the little horizontal rays, and you can mark off where your buys above line would be and so on, and kind of take it from there. And that's really nice and clean and straightforward. Again, personally for me, I literally just use the rays, because then if I have them on my mobile phone, if I'm checking for any reason, it just looks really nice, crisp, clean. It declutters things a little bit, I think. So once you've got the grips with kind of getting your chart laid out the way you want, you can again browse through the multiple time frames. All of your stuff will remain on there, so that's absolutely fine. You can start looking at a few other things. So one thing you might want to do is you might have various different accounts you want to log into. You might have different accounts that you have. You may be going for a funded account challenge. You might be on a demo account because you're just learning. You can see at the top here, I'm just on my demo account to try and explain all these things, so I didn't actually take a buy or something by accident, which we'll have a little look at after. And there's a couple of ways you can log into an account. So the easiest way would just be to go to File and then come down to Log into Trade Account, and in there you can put in your details for your own account. You simply type your details in, that'll be provided by a broker, click OK, and that'll log you in, and you can then start to customize the various different market watch symbols that you have available. Once you've done that and you've got your market going the way you want and you're ready to take a trade, there are a couple of ways you can take a trade. Now, the easiest way is just to have these buttons just at the top here visible, and there's one that says Show Trade Panel. So if we click on that, you can see that it shows me the sell and the buy buttons. It's just blocking out a little bit because I've got another program running, which I'll show you in a sec. And then you can change what you want your lot size to be. Now, yours might not be 3 lots. That would be absolutely fine. Let's just say yours is 0.01 because you're just learning. That's absolutely fine. And you're waiting for this to wick down and come back up, and then you're going to take a buy. Let's just do one just for example though. So what will then actually happen at that point is we will take a trade, and what will happen is if I just pull this up at the bottom here, you will be able to see that your trade is being displayed here. So at that point, you can see what your volume is, you can see what your price is, your stop loss and your take profit. Now you'll notice that my stop loss and take profit aren't visible. So what I can do, which makes things really easy, I can just hover my mouse over where the trade was executed from and drag down, and that will set where my stop loss goes. And notice it tells me in points, in terms of pips, and in terms of monetary value, what that'll be. And I can do the same with my take profit zone, and you know that it's got SL and TP. Don't worry, you can't get those mixed up the wrong way around. It will do them for you. If you were in a sell and you moved it down, it would do your take profit for you, and so on. You'll notice that mine's got a little pip counter going on the right hand side. There are a couple of ways you can do that. I used to have one, I literally just took it off yesterday, where you could add a little pip counter on there. There's lots available for free on the internet, very straightforward to do. This one is actually one called Magic Keys. And this is just a little add-on that I've actually got installed, which I'll just show you what this looks like. So it's like a little calculator. This is the on-screen version. The physical version is available to purchase as well. And what you can actually do is you can use this to try and work out what your trade's going to be. So you can open a calculator and it'll tell you what your zones are going to be and so on. I can auto set it to break even when I'm so far in profit and so on. So there's lots and lots of different things I can do, as well as just kind of controlling the chart and things as well. If for whatever reason the trade isn't going in my direction and I want to manage the risk, I would probably want to close half the position. So I can actually click the close half button. I can click close custom, so I can change how much I want to close by. Or if the trade's just not panning out and I want to close it, I can actually close the trade, same as I can open a trade or double down on my order or whatever it may be. So it's just a nice little calculator. That also gives me a pip calculator at the end. So we're currently at break even. All right, let's just say this trade isn't panning out the way I want it to go. I'm going to close full. Or let's say I'm high in profit and I just want to get out of the trade as soon as I can. You can click close full there. Or if you haven't got Magic Keys installed, there is a little X button on the right hand side. Now let's say I wanted to manage the trade, but I don't have Magic Keys either. That's absolutely fine. You can just right click where the trade is here. You can go to modify or delete. And what you want to do is you want to change it from modify position to market execution. We want to do something instantly. And what I can then do is, let's say I've got like a 2 lot running and I want to close half of it. I just close 1.00 and then I would just click close there. It's not going to let me execute that because I've only got 0.01 running. So what I'll do is I'll just run a 1 lot buy just so you can see what that would look like. So if I come to that one now, go to modify or delete, remember switch it to market execution, and I want to change that. I've got 1 lot on the trade here. Let's say I want to half that position, so 0.5, and then I can close half of that position there. So I've closed some of that in profit. That's fine, that's all good. Now, what I might want to do instead of those things actually is I may want to see if I can set a pending order. So for example, you can have a buy stop or you can have a sell limit and so on. So buy stop basically means if the trade is coming up to the point, the price that we want the trade to be activated, the price is coming up, it executes that point, and then we'll be into a buy. So let's see if we can set one of those for ourselves. And I'm just going to hide the Magic Keys calculator just so it keeps, remember, everything nice and clean and tidy. So let's just close all of our trades for a second and let's get rid of the calculator, and then we're nice, clean and crisp and good to go. Now, one thing you'll notice just before I move on is these little arrows. This shows me where I've executed trades. It's like your trade history. So I can see that I took a buy here, I closed the buy there, and I can review that and see if anything I could have done better, etc., etc. So let's say we want to set a buy stop. We want price to come up, and when it gets that price, it'll execute a buy for us. What we can do is wherever we want that price to be executed, we can right click, go to trading, and we can create a buy stop. Now that's going to do it on 1 lot because that's the price that's been set there. Let's say that's a mistake. Oh, crikey, we only wanted 0.1. No problem. Change the amount there. Right click, trading, set a buy stop, and that'll be 0.1. Don't worry where it puts that line that for your buy stop to be activated. You can simply just drag and drop that and place it wherever you want. Similarly, if we wanted to sell limit or anything, whatever it might be, sell stop underneath here. Let's say we wanted to do that there. Okay, That'll be a gambly way of trading if you're trading news like that. And again, if price comes down there, it'll take a sell for me and so on. And then let's say for whatever reason that trade becomes invalid, you don't want to execute that anymore, that's fine. You can close them off. That doesn't cost you a penny to do that as long as your trade wasn't activated. So those are some simple things that you can do whilst using MetaTrader on a desktop or a laptop. Okay, I'm using it on a laptop here. I'm using it on a MacBook, hence why it says I want to activate Windows because I'm running it through Parallels, where you don't have to. But I would advise you as a newbie, as a beginner trader, as an expert trader, trade from a laptop or a desktop computer. Okay, it's fine to have it on your phone. You're going to use some of those tools on your phone, and that may work for some people. But for me, to get a good view of the entire chart and know exactly what's happening, I would highly recommend that you use your desktop or laptop and try and trade like a professional. Try and trade like you are doing this. You're running your own business and you're trying to become a profitable trader forevermore, basically. I hope this was useful for you. There will be lots of other hints and tips in other videos. And if you like them, please like the videos, please subscribe, and there'll be more coming your way soon.